I see there's some people waiting in here. I'm gonna get situated and stuff, and then we can get started. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. Give me some thumbs up if the lighting looks okay. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll turn this on for the time being. Oh, that's always great when you turn something on and it doesn't go on. Okay, give me a sec. So funny, it can't work if it's not plugged in, right? I didn't see that the plug got popped out of its socket, but okay. Hi everyone, it's Tiana from the Maniology team here with our weekly live every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. You can find us here on another nail stamping journey. Whether it's a tutorial, technique, or hack, we're here to discuss the details, and I'm so happy you could join me. Okay. And I'm so sorry. I'm actually just getting over a cold, so if I sound a little stuffy and congested, that would be the reason why. But yeah, let's just jump right in. I wanted to, let's just talk story, I guess. If you're watching today, it's probably because, you're already a fan of Maniology and you're well on your way on your nail stamping journey, and, you found it to be a creative outlet for you. And that's wonderful. That's exactly what we want. But if you're catching this live for like the first time, and, by the way, if you are, give us a heart, or have seen maybe some of our work that we've done in the past, or maybe watched, I don't know, caught a clip of an ad or something like that, you probably thought to yourself that maybe those nails that you've seen, perhaps like as a noob, it's impossible, or it gives like unrealistic odds to create those nails for yourself. And, I know perhaps looking at the end result, it may look daunting, or it kind of looks possibly unrealistic, but I want you to remember that, once upon a time, I didn't know anything about nail stamping. And the reason why I bring this up is because actually I guess, have heard comments like this too, where it's like, oh my gosh, that looks so hard, and I couldn't do this myself, or I'm struggling, and all this kind of stuff. And there, like I said, there was once a time when I knew nothing about nail stamping, didn't know how to do it. It was troubling for me. As a matter of fact, I still struggle with it. Some days it's just not a good day. And it looks like there's actually a decent amount of people who are tuning in for the first time. So I'm super excited for you guys to be with me today, because, basically the point I'm trying to make is that, if somebody like me can figure it out, I'm here to help you and walk you through the process. And that's what these live streams are about, to encourage you to express your creativity in whatever form it comes in, and based on what fits you. Creativity is not a one-size-fits-all situation. And, if we're being honest, look at my own nails. I didn't have time. Life gets in the way. I got sick. This is pretty much all I was able to do, was just get my tips on. It's already growing out, Sometimes we can't do our nails all the time. But, with that said, I wanted to jump into what today's video is about. And the idea I had for today's live is really that I wanted to take one main design and show you that there's at least 4, if not more, ways that you can, take your manicure to the next level. And this live is for anyone who thinks that they can't do nail stamping. If you're a person who wants to wear only, or if you have been that person who wants to just wear a base color, or if you're a person who already does stamping. So this is for you. And welcome to all the newbies. If you're just joining in, don't worry, you're not late. Just go ahead and rewind the video, and you can watch it from the beginning, or you can start it right here. Okay. So hopefully I'm coming in clear. Let me know if I'm not. And honestly, you can see that I've already prepped the nails. And the color that I'm using here, 1, 2, 3, is Latte. And this is just our straight up black, just using our stamping polishes. So I figured, you didn't need me to show you how to paint on a base color. So, option number 1 is just a 1 color stamp. So let's just get into it. Today I'm going to be using, there you go. I'm going to be using plate M076. So this is, a very nice fall cozy plate. This plate we came out with kind of a long time ago, but it's still an oldie but goodie. And I'm going to be using this design here. And yeah, let's just get into it. Let me set up my workstation here, roll out the Lotus mat. So funny because normally I don't zoom in. Thanks, Dev, for cluing me in on the zooming. And everyone say hi to Dev. She is online with me today. My trusty companion here. And what do you call? Oh, hello T. Sorry, brain fart. What am I doing? Color. There's so many things I want to say, and then it's just, my mind is just like on rapid mode right now. So this is Cocoa. That's the color I'm going to be stamping for my 1 color stamp. So I'm just going to take one of my tips that's already dried. Let me just get one of these, this down here. Okay. And let's just pick up this design. Using my trusty ice cube stamper. Okay, scrape. And that is the pickup. So there, simple 1 color stamp. You can stop right here, top it with a no smudge top coat, and you're good to go. And there you have a simple fall manicure. But if you're wanting to go to the next level perhaps, then I can show you, of course, if creativity and time and life allow, let's do something else. Okay. So let's go ahead and clean off the plate. And right here I'm using my pineapple cotton grabber. Oh, where's my acetone? Okay. Clean that. Okay, now I'm gonna grab another tip. Okay. Now, okay, using this next option, option number 2 is going to be a layered stamp. Now, I don't know if you knew that Maniology actually offers plates that have layered stamping. It's a matter of preference. You can actually use both designs. So now if you're looking at this plate, do you see some designs that could possibly be layered together? Like, say for example, this, you would stamp this first and then you would layer it with the detailed design. You see that? Or what about this design with like, what is this, like mulled cider? But do you see how like that's the cup over here or the mug, and you can stamp this detailed print over this, and same here. So you can see like the deer. So we do have a few plates that are actually like this, where you could use the image separately, or you could layer. So I just wanted to give you a few options because I actually have a few other fall, autumn, style plates that maybe you might be interested in, or maybe didn't even know we had. So M023, we have, these items here. You can like layer the carrot, maybe not everything, but you can find these little gems. That's what Devon likes to call them, these little hidden gems here. Or you can match the pumpkin with the pumpkin. Actually, you have a turkey and a turkey. So again, the way that you would use this is you would use this background design in whatever color you want, and then layer it. So perhaps if, reverse stamping is not for you, that would be an easier option. Then there you go. And here is another plate that we have that kind of matches within the autumn theme here. M075, that still has like a layering concept as well. This actually, you could kind of take this as a 3-step. So you would do this, this option, and this option. Or like layer this maple leaf and then this. Okay? So anyway, just kind of giving you some gems that there are plates. Not all of our plates are like that, but we do have a few plates that offer layering. Don't worry, Jackie. I need help layering too. And to be completely honest, like I said, it's a matter of preference. I am not partial to layering designs because I feel like the reverse stamping part is easier, but to each their own. But I'm going to show you what a layered stamp would possibly look like. So I am going to use coconut. Okay. I wanted to go with like that white pumpkin vibe. The ones that you see at like the craft stores and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up this bottom design too. Okay. So let's pick up that. And lay that down. I don't think I did that very straight, but hopefully you guys can see that. I love coconut. Coconut's such a perfect color. Okay, and now I'm going back in with, what was it, cocoa? I'm going to take this top, more detailed design. I'm going to layer it over. Okay. Now I won't lie, doing this online and trying to match it is going to be kind of difficult, but I'll try my best. Hey, not bad. Okay, so there, option 2, a layered stamp. So if you wanted to, again, you can stop right here, call it a manicure, top it with a no smudge, and there you go. Okay, I'm grabbing another tip. And let's go ahead and clean off the plate again. Now we're gonna go ahead in with option number 3. Now option number 3, of course, these are not new concepts. You know, these are definitely things that we've already talked about on our live streaming. But option number 3 is a reverse colored stamp. Okay. So first things first, I'm gonna go in and pick up this design here. Okay. So let's go in with Cocoa and just pick up the top design. Now you can see that each option gets gradually, you know, has more work, more time invested. You know, of course, I'm only showing you one, but you do have 10 fingers, so. Okay, there's the pickup. Now I'm gonna isolate everything that's not the pumpkin, because I'm gonna do, again, some kind of layering options. Okay, normally this would work, the isolating, but I am under, you know, like studio lights and stuff, so I'm just gonna grab some Scotch tape and start taking off the parts that I don't need, the bits. Okay. Try not to move too quickly so I take off the parts that I actually want to keep. You can see what I'm doing. I'm just taking, I like to just work on a corner. I'm not even touching the whole thing, you know, but try and just graze the image really, because I don't want to touch, again, the parts that I actually need. Okay. Oh, I got lucky. I took off that whole leaf. Okay. Okay, this is getting into scary territory here, so. Sometimes when I start getting into scary territory, I like to maybe cone my tape. Just kind of get into those really like tight places, and that is what's left, is just these pumpkins. Okay. And this is going to be a multi-step process, so I'm actually just going to use my lazy palette here, and I'm going back in with coconut. Oh, I probably should have done this first. Gotta clean off my brush, detail brush. And what I mean by clean is I did that tip that Dev gave us last week in the live to keep your bristles pointed. Okay. And now I'm going to do some reverse stamping here. So tips for doing this: always make sure your polish is wet, and I know you can't really see, but I am kind of like lightly dotting, not really dragging too much, because I don't want to reconstitute the already existing polish onto this on the stamper. So I can show you what this kind of looks like right now. See that? Okay. So when the polish maybe gets to about here, I know I've done this before, but when you start getting lines, when you can, yeah, this is too dry, too dry. When your brush starts to look like this too, clean it. And I have a acetone. I actually just put a little bit in the reservoir here, and There, just kind of lightly clean that off, going in the same direction as my bristles. So I'm not swirling it around. I want to make sure that my bristles stay nice and pointed. Okay, so when it gets like this, don't worry, just go ahead and use like another dot of polish and just keep going. So I'm just gonna go ahead, I think I said already, but I'm painting right now with coconut. If there's other tools that you can use to reverse stamp, instead of like if you don't have detail brushes on hand, or maybe you're waiting for them in the mail because they're still being shipped to you, you can use like a dotting tool. If you have a dotting tool, you could use that. I love these brushes because they really kind of get into all like the finer places in your detailed designs. So when you're doing reverse stamping, you know, you don't want it, the polish to kind of get outside of those lines, because you want it to look colored in like a coloring book. So as you can see, even with the finer brush, I can still get into these bigger spaces. Sometimes, you know, in this case, a bigger brush might be better, but I like the thin brushes. I tend to make a mess and go outside of my lines when I use, what do you call the thicker brushes? So it's probably nicer to just be relaxed and more careful about it. Because you don't want to rush through the process. I think I see someone asking about the sticky base, and don't worry, I'm gonna show you this process from start to finish. I would say the sticky base, I've been using it for quite a long time. I want to say 45 seconds if you're doing a thin layer should be more than good to go. You know, there shouldn't be a reason why there's more polish than like a thin layer on the nail surface. But I feel like my magic number is about 45 seconds. And then lightly touch it too. You know, if you can see your thumbprint or your fingerprint, then you know it's tacky. If you're lifting up the underneath, you know, the polish underneath, it's too wet, so you gotta wait. Now don't worry with the sticky base, if say for instance you miss it because you're talking or you're not paying attention, or maybe you're still painting, you know, your other designs, it'll basically just dry like a regular base coat, and then you just do the process over again. Okay, so that's what my pumpkins look like. Now I'm just gonna let that sit, okay? You don't want to put this onto your nail right when you're done, because what's gonna happen is, you know, your pumpkins are still wet, especially the last one that you did. And what can happen is if you're rushing, you could actually smudge your the polish. And I have had that happen to me. You know, I'm being a little overconfident. But you know, these layers of polish, they have to dry. So we'll just let it set on the side. And don't worry, because we're using the sticky base, we can just let it sit forever. Well, not forever, but we can let it sit for a long time. Oh, sorry, I just realized again, brain fart. What am I supposed to be doing? Sorry. While we're waiting for that to dry, I'm actually gonna go ahead and get the other nail tip started, because I'm gonna have to do this process again, right? We're doing this in steps. So let me just clean up this design. I'm gonna pick it up again with cocoa. I think I just read a comment about somebody waiting to get their order. Well, first of all, thank you so much for joining our live. Super stoked for you. Oh, haha, that was my backing that popped out. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can isolate these pieces again. Yep, it's dry already. So I gotta go in with my tape. Handy dandy Scotch tape. You know, sometimes you just, it's really basic stuff that we use here. Okay. See, I can already feel my momentum trying to get all overzealous, and I might just pick apart my pumpkin. Don't want to do that. So funny, you know, after doing these lives for, you know, a while now, because we started this, when, Dev? Was it the pandemic, right? When we all had to stay home and we're on lockdown and things like that. I still get nervous sometimes. You know, I think it's that feeling where it's like, I want to show you guys and communicate what it is that I'm trying to do, but, you know, sometimes it just doesn't work. Okay. 3 pumpkins. Okay, let's see. I think that should be good to go. Okay, I'll just set this aside. And where is my sticky? Did I forget the main? I forgot the star of the show here. My sticky. It wouldn't be a Tiana live if I remembered everything. Give me a sec. How is it that I don't have my sticky base? Silly tea. Oh, right here. Got it. It wasn't. It was right where. Yeah, it was near me. So this is what the sticky base looks like. Okay, I have my tip here. Oops. Oh. I'm sorry, the nails on the chalkboard sound. Yucky. I really don't like that. Oh, it makes me cringe under my skin. Okay. So I'm gonna take just a small amount and do a really thin layer over the whole nail because I wanna go ahead and transfer those pumpkins onto the nail. Okay. Katrina, the plate that we're using right now is M076. Okay. And we're just gonna wait, like I said, about 45 seconds or so. Oh, I don't even wanna squeeze that anymore. You know, don't you have those, like, sometimes you hear certain things and it's like, nails on a chalkboard. Okay. Sniff test. You know me, I'm always doing a sniff test. That's way too wet. I can smell like the alcohol-y smell. So we're just gonna wait that out. Okay. But I don't want to go and stray too far from this. Okay, it's getting less. The nose knows, you know. Okay. Okay. We're ready. I'm not lifting up polish underneath. It's tacky. Let's go ahead and take our design and we're just going to stamp it onto the nail. And just like that. You see how that transfers? Nice and smooth. Okay? Came off really cleanly. Okay, so now I'm gonna take some other colors. So right now I'm gonna go in with Saddle Up, which is this like really gorgeous rust color, which I think is like perfect for the season or the vibe that I'm going for autumn. And I'm gonna take some of these foliage pieces, plant pieces, leaf pieces, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick this up. Okay, let's get rid of like the pumpkin because I don't need that. Okay, I'm gonna take that out. And let's see, take off that. And let's see, I'm gonna take off like that little fern looking piece too. Okay, I'll use it for later because I'll just use another color to stamp. Yay! Okay, hopefully I didn't take too long. Let's hope that it transfers. There you go. Okay. Oh gosh, I love this color. Love, love, love. Then I thought, let me clean this up. I thought it would be a good idea. Actually, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use that other design, but I think I'm gonna use green. So I have Crisp here, which is like this really kind of warm, almost like a olive color. Another color I love. And let's pick up this design. Okay. And let's go ahead and quickly kind of isolate. Let's get the pumpkins off again. Okay. So now this, let's go ahead and stamp these images. There. Okay, there you go. So again, this is option 3 with a reverse colored stamp, and I'm also using the layered stamp, okay? And since we're here, I want to show you how we can go ahead and top it, okay? Because the next part is going to take me a little bit, because again, this is option number 4. Now, you know, if you want to kind of take it to that next level, then stick around and watch for option number 4. because that's going to require, you know, like a multi-step process. So far, do you guys have a preference? Do you like option 1, option 2, or option 3? What speaks to you? So I'm going with my smudge-free top coat, and I'm going to do a thin layer to protect my stamped designs. So there's no right or wrong when you answer or vote, you know. I think perhaps sometimes our eyes are more attracted to, you know, like the color and stuff like that. But again, you know, creativity is not a one size fits all. Just because you do one stamp doesn't mean you're not creative. So, okay. Oh, my pumpkin is flipping over, and I don't want it to do that because I don't want it to get... Of course, if I was doing this on a regular nail, I would use acetone to take that off, but there you go. I was going to use a matte top coat after, but either way, we have to let the nose smudge dry. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Okay, so now moving on. I'm going to go ahead. Actually, let's do this. Like I said, it's going to be a multi-step process. Now this one has a black base, and you want to know why? Because I'm going to use this Twilight powder, okay, which is this gorgeous multi-chrome powder. Now I know for some people they're like, oh my gosh, powder, it's so crazy, I don't know how to use that. Well, I'm here to show you exactly how to use it, and because it'll just make the manicure scrumdiddlyumptious. Now I think one thing I wanted to address with using powder, I know kind of like the common questions we get are why are you using a black base instead of like another color base? So whatever your base color is will kind of change up how the powder looks. I think in general, it's been my experience that black as a base shows the trueness of what these beautiful multi-chrome, dual chrome type powders are supposed to look like, because this powder, you know, maybe right now, I think in the live, you probably can see a lot more like auburn, maybe coppery, but there's like green in here. This looks like dragon scales, serious. And I said dragon scales because I've been watching House of the Dragon. Yeah. Have you guys been watching that too? Feeling a little inspired? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Targaryen family craziness. So anyway, I don't want to give spoilers, so let's not talk about that too much. Just give me, you know, do we have a dragon emoji? I think there is a dragon emoji. Give me a dragon emoji if you're watching. Anyway, this video is not even doing this powder justice. I'm trying to move it around so you can really see what it looks like. But anyway, as a black base, it shows the trueness of the powder the best. You can use white, but again, it will kind of change what the powder looks like on top. So my recommendation is to use black or a dark color. Like say for instance, even if you were to do maybe like a red, that would also change what the powder would look like too. So it's completely up to you. But let's just show this process. Now, I'm going back in with my sticky base coat. And because I used it on a lighter color, I just want to make sure that my brush didn't like pick up any of the color. Sometimes that can tend to happen, so I'm just going to brush it. Looks okay. Looks clean, so I'm just going to go in with a thin coat. Okay. And yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but actually I did pick up some black polish there, so I'm just, you can see a little bit of black. So I'm just going to dip it in and kind of make sure that's clean, because if I'm using this on white, that's going to really suck for the next time you use it. So just kind of clean off the bristles. until there's no polish rubbing off. And while I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna go in and put powder on my stamper. Now this is my 2-in-1 stamper that I'm using. And the process that I like to do is I take literally just a little and I'm gonna go ahead and rub it onto the surface, really thin surface. You don't have to go in thick. Oh, see, it looks so fiery on the camera, but oh, this is beautiful. Makes me want to cry. I actually want to do my nails just with this. Can you guys see that? Oh my gosh. Beautiful. You know what? Seriously, wait till it goes on the nail though. Can you see some of that green, copper, reds, pinks? Okay. We gotta wait for that to get tacky, because if we move it, if we go in too quickly, we want our powder to look smooth on the surface, not bumpy. Okay. So you see how I didn't use much? I mean, I was literally just tapping the powder in here. A little goes a long way. You don't want to waste this magical powder. Okay. Let me check this. Okay, I think we should be good. Ooh. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Okay. So you can see I left my print there, and there was one part that's a little bit wet. Okay, but the sides are ready to go. Darn it. Because I know what's going to happen. I think it's not going to look as smooth over there. But for the sake of this, I'm going to give it a go. But yeah, that part was a little too wet. You can kind of see that little divot, I think, in the video. Okay, so line it up and just go ahead and press it into your nail on the surface. Oh my gosh, I think like... Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, so there's that divot that I talked about, but everything else is smooth though. If I didn't do that little boo-boo, it would have been smooth, but that's okay. She is okay. But look at that. This is Twilight. This is actually, we just released this powder last week. It's super new. But yeah, and then on your sticky stamper or like Scotch tape, you just take off all that powder that was on here. Note for using powder on your clear stamper. I think in general with stamping, it's good to have multiple stampers. As you can see, I have so many stampers here. I'm using the ice cube, I'm using the 2-in-1, I'm using the monocle. It's good to have a lot of stampers. And don't, if you say like get a little tear in your stampers, don't throw them away, because when you're using powder, you kind of want to use a junky stamper, because if you continuously use it, as you can see, this is still clear. I can see right through it, looks great. But over time, if you keep using it for powder, it can clear up this, cloud up the surface, and you don't want to use that for your clear stampers. So if you have a junky one, or one that you're willing to say bye-bye to and use over time, then use that. But one time is not going to make your stamper junky. Like I said, you can still see. I can't stop looking at this, and I want you guys to look at it too. Right? So I think with, you know, now that it's on the nail, you can see more of the coloring here. See the greens, you can see the browns, like the coppery tones, you can see kind of like the emerald that's coming out. This is just gorgeous. Okay, I think we can stop right here. There you go. We'll just leave it right there. The live is done. We don't need to stamp anymore. That's your option 4. It's just powder base and we can go on with life. I'm kidding. You want to know why this is my, what do you call, lazy palette? Because watch, this is dry. And I just, there you go. I have a brand new palette now. That's why I use it. If people are like, oh my gosh, Tia's so lazy, she's always, yes, I'm lazy. I want to make things as easy as possible for me. And this is my palette. Okay. So, remember this when we picked up that second group of, what do you call, pumpkins? Now I'm going to go back in and start, what do you call, coloring in the brown here with my coconut. I think when you're starting off with stamping, people think, oh my gosh, why do I need another stamper? Like, why is Maniology coming out with another stamper? This is so crazy. You'll come to realize that having more stampers is actually more beneficial, and it allows you the ability to do more. I love keeping around stampers too, especially for doing reverse stamping. If, say for instance, you're doing all 10 nails in like a similar design and you have to color all of them, yes, there are people who do that. You would have to have 10 stampers basically to kind of get yourself ahead. You know, if you, I mean, you don't have to, but you would have, you know, having multiple stampers would make the job a whole lot easier. You could stamp, put it on the side, cap it for a little bit, and just keep painting. But if you, could you imagine if you only had one stamper and you're trying to reverse stamp all 10 fingernails? How long that would take you? I think, yeah, the design would be falling off my nails before I would finish the last one. I mean, if we're being honest, I wouldn't. By that point, I'd be like, no, forget it. If it's going to take days, that's just not for me. We're just trying to keep it honest, right? And don't worry, guys. I love to show you all the fails too, because not everything is a win, right? Sometimes, you know, things don't quite go the way that you want it to, and as is such. Okay. So right now, as I'm doing this, I was watching TikTok earlier, and I have that Beyonce song in my head that's like trending right now, playing in my head on instant repeat. I don't want to say it because, say the words, because there's swear words in it. If in case, you know, you're with your youngins. But yeah, that song's so catchy. Alrighty, that's what it looks like. Just leave that on the side. And earlier, just, you know, for kicks, this is what I meant by cap it. Now I have done this, you know, say for instance, if you want to plan in advance, I have done this for 24 hours. It doesn't make the polish too brittle, but I wouldn't use the stamp maybe longer than that to make like these decals and stuff, but it helps to kind of keep the polish dry but not brittle, so it doesn't comes off in pieces. But we'll just cap it because I'm clumsy, and I would hit that. Which is so funny because when I do these lives, I have like a Maniology apron, and I guess we can say I like to live on the edge. I never use it, So I do run the risk of possibly all of this polish getting on my clothes. I hope I didn't just jinx myself, but especially because I'm wearing black. Alrighty. So I'm just doing that to kind of rub off any excess powder. Usually there isn't any, but I'm just trying to be careful. Okay. Because I need to go back in and put base coat over, because I need to transfer this design onto the nail. But you know, I don't want to be too hasty and do it too early. So we're just gonna wait it out. Hi. If you're just joining, you're joining a Maniology Live. Hello, I'm Tiana, and I am showing 4 ways to transform your nail art. So right now we did option 1, which is a 1 color stamp, and we did option. Hello, what's going on? Okay, I think the camera likes 1. So this is option 1, a 1 color stamp. 2, we're doing a layered stamp. And then 3, I have a layered stamp with reverse stamping. And right now we're working on option 4, a powder base with reverse colored stamp. Okay. I feel like I was a little heavy-handed with my pumpkin, so I'm actually gonna wait just a little while longer. And if you're curious, the powder that is on this nail tip is called Twilight. It is currently on the site right now, and it's this gorgeous, gorgeous powder. Also, I wanna make a mention too, because this is kind of a common question we get. Is the pot supposed to be completely full? That's a good question. However, powders, and we're not the only company that does this. I would say, if not all nail companies do, it goes according by weight. So again, you don't have to use a lot when using your powders. A little goes a long way. And if you want to see how I applied this, you can just go ahead and rewind this video. Okay, let's proceed. I am going to put on my sticky base coat. So I'm going to put in another thin layer. Okay. So this is definitely a multi-step process. You know, I had a black base, which I used straight up black stamping polish. Then I put the sticky base coat. I did powder, and now I'm doing another layer of sticky base coat. So these are thin layers. As you can see, it's not thick or anything. So you want to be kind of mindful of that, because you don't want your manicure to get chunky, unless that's the look you're going for. 45 seconds, I said, is kind of like the magic number, or at least my magic number. I do feel, depending on where you're at, the temperature of your room and things like that, that would affect how quickly your sticky base coat dries. But I don't know, I'm working in an AC'd office with these lights and stuff like that. Even when I'm at my desk and I'm working, 45 seconds seems to be about the magic number. I think we're G. Let's go ahead and transfer our pumpkins onto our nail. Okay. So there, I have my pumpkins. And now I'm gonna go in and stamp some more. Let's go ahead and clean off this plate. Let me move that. Okay, so let's go in. I used Saddle Up here to pick up a few designs from like the leaves. And take off the pumpkins. And I believe I did the ferns last time. Okay, this middle one right here. Ready? And we're just gonna go ahead and stamp that onto the nail again. Okay, and now we're gonna go in with Crisp, which is that beautiful olive color. I think this is time to get a new polish. It's getting kind of chunky already. Usually that happens when we don't cap it quickly. Oh, that wasn't the greatest pickup. I'm gonna try that again. Okay, let's clean this off and do that again. Sorry, I don't mean to really gob it on the way that I have because I know it looks kind of thick, but this polish is actually getting rather thick. I think after this I'll probably have to go get a new one. Excuse me. That's not really a nice pickup either. I don't like that. Ugh. See, so here is a lesson. This is an old plate, by the way. Excuse me. As you can see, I've been using this stamper. I've also been using this plate. Picked up the designs. Everything else has come out really nice, and I've also used this polish. So sometimes stamping just doesn't work out the way that we hope. So I am going to try this again one more time. And maybe this time just for okay, so let's go ahead and see if maybe this makes a difference. I'll try not to breathe as well. Yep, see, who knows? Who knows why it doesn't work? Sometimes it just doesn't. I don't even want to question it. But it worked, much better pickup. And we'll just leave it as such. Okay, so I have Crisp, and now, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and layer. Oh, where am I? Got a little turned around here. Okay. Now when it's shiny, I know, actually you can see it. You can see the designs here. But watch when I use a matte top coat. It'll kind of change the way that you can see all of the colors and stuff. So let's go ahead and top it with our smudge free. Okay. Smudge free is a must to protect our stamp design. Now, while we wait for that to dry, I actually brought a few polishes here that, if say for instance, you're not ready to mess with powder because you're just not, you could also do any of these. Say for instance, we have some really cool other polishes that you could use as a base, you know, especially over the black too. That would look so awesome, or just as like a base. So this is Curious Matter. Shoot, I don't have tips to swatch this out for you because it would be very pretty. This one I have Expedition Pearl, and this is our Sugar Speed Dry Top Coat, which is, I love a good flaky. Flakies are beautiful. Yes, this is from the Moonbeams collection. So, you know, if powder is not your thing, you can get creative and try something else. Okay. And let me move some of this out of the way because we'll be wrapping it up here soon. Alrighty, just move that out of the way. Okay. And I'm gonna put a top coat. If you guys want to know what I'm using Purple Willow. This matte top coat is definitely a fave. So dries quickly, dries matte, really nice and matte. If you like the shine, keep the shine, that's cool. Of course, you're just adding one more layer, but my intention was to matte top coat this, so I want to do that. Now, just know I'm only able to do this because I already put the smudge free. If you missed that part when I was doing that, just know that I already put the smudge free onto these nails, and that's why they're not smudging. If I had put the matte top coat directly over the stamp designs, it would smudge, and there goes your work. So the no smudge is not only because I say, it's because you really don't want to mess up the work that you've done. Whether it's a one stamp or if you've done multi-steps. Okay. So look at that. This is the first tip that I've done, and it's already drying. Okay, you can see this one is still very wet, but this is like really nice and matte. And just because it looks matte doesn't mean it's dry, but you can tell the effect. And we do have a matte top coat, but you know, when you love something, you love something. Okay. Alrighty. So this is what this looks like. Let me just feel it. Okay. I think we're ready to move on to the next step, which is to add the matte top coat. I love, 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 love a multi-chrome dual-chrome powder that is mattified. It just adds like a different feel to it, you know. Shiny is nice, but the matte, it just adds like a whole different vibe. Okay. So we're gonna wait for that to dry because I'm not gonna leave you guys until you can see what it looks like matte, and you can kind of see it changing already. But do you see how it kind of diffuses? I mean, it doesn't take away the dual chromeness of it. But it just does something to it. Sparkly is good. We like sparkly. But, you know, again, I think it just kind of goes to show that whatever your taste is, if you're sparkle, you like matte, you don't like, you know, you like pumpkins, you don't like pumpkins, you know, we have something for anybody, everybody on the nail stamping journey. So you can pick and choose whatever your taste is. If you're a one stamp kind of person and just want to do one color, that works too. If you want to do a layered stamp, that works as well. If you want to do a reverse color stamp with the layering, you can do that. And then if you want to get super, super fancy, you could add a powder and reverse and layer stamp, and that could be your final look. So, I mean, really, if you wanted to mix all of these onto your nails, you could do that as well. So, do we have to vote? Option 1, 2, 3, and 4. Which one do you guys like more? This was fun to do. And what did you guys think of the live, the concept? Did you guys like seeing the progression of this design kind of get from, you know, go from simple to gradually more complicated? Let me know in the comments if that was something you guys enjoyed, because I know this is like the first time that perhaps we've shown a video like this, like a live for the progression. And it, you know, of course, this is definitely a longer live, so I thank you for sticking around. But it just goes to show that there are so many things that you can do, and this is just one design. Can you imagine with all the plates that we have what you could do? Or all the plates that you probably have. So definitely seemed like you guys like this. So thank you so much for tuning in. I don't really see too many questions. I hope Dev or, you know, my team members were able to kind of answer them for you. I hope you really enjoyed this live. All of the items that I used in this manicure has been linked in the description, so you can go ahead and check that out. And by the way, if you enjoy, you know, our videos and the content that we share, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our Maniology lives or any of the other nail art content that we have to share. So hopefully, you know, we'll see you in the next live. It's been super fun doing this with you all, and thank you for joining. Don't forget, if you missed out, or if you just popped in and you're hitting, you know, catching the end of this, don't worry, this will go directly onto our channel, and you can watch this video from start to finish. So right now, like ASAP. So feel free to watch anytime if you want to re-watch this, if you want to recreate any of these designs for yourself. This was a really good tutorial, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a nice rest of your Tuesday and the rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next live. Thanks so much. Bye.